Then his military powers. We saw in the first video that President is the supreme commander of the armed forces. President also appoints the chief of the three wings of armed forces. He appoints the chief of the Navy, he appoints the chief of the Air Force, and he appoints the chief of the Army. So President appoints the chief of the three wings of armed forces. And third is, President can declare war. President can also make peace with countries on recommendation of the Union Cabinet. So President has the power to declare war against any country, or President can make peace with other countries. So these are the military powers of the President of India. Then we have the discretionary powers. Children, you should know the term discretionary. Discretionary means using one's own wisdom. Here, person is independent. In the previous chapter, we learned that the President acts on the advice of the cabinet ministers. President acts on the advice of Prime Minister and Council of Ministers. But here we learn that President also has some discretionary power. There are some situations when President does not seek the opinion of the Prime Minister. He does not depend upon Prime Minister or the cabinet ministers, but he will take decision his own. That is called discretionary powers. And when can the President use his discretionary power? There are few situations. First is when in the Lok Sabha no party gets clear-cut majority. That means there is a hung parliament. In that situation, the President can decide whom to appoint as Prime Minister of India. So when no party gets clear-cut majority in the Lok Sabha election, President has the power to use his discretionary power with regard to the appointment of the Prime Minister of India. Similarly, all of a sudden, if the Prime Minister dies, the President has the discretionary power to appoint the next Prime Minister. And when the ruling party loses no confidence motion in the Lok Sabha, President can dissolve the Lok Sabha, or President can decide to appoint some other person as Prime Minister of India and give him a chance to prove his majority in the floor of the House. So these are some of the very, very special powers of the President. Therefore, they are the discretionary powers, special powers that President enjoys in certain situations. Then we have the emergency powers of President. So President also has got wide range of emergency powers. Emergency powers, for example, there can be when there is national emergency. That is also called general emergency. When the country faces a threat of external aggression. That means there is a chance of war with other countries, or other country already has waged war against our country. That situation, President gets special power, emergency power. And on the recommendation of the Union Cabinet, the President can declare war also. Another emergency power is the breakdown of constitutional machinery. In case the constitutional machinery has failed in a particular part of the country or in a particular state, the President can issue their President's rule. The President can impose President's rule in a particular state if the constitutional machinery has failed in that particular state. In other words, the constitutionally elected government has not been able to administer that state, in that case, the president will impose president's rule in that particular state. That is his emergency power. And the third emergency power is the financial emergency. Financial emergency means there is a danger of instability, financial instability. That means there is a chance that the financial stability of the country is in danger. And to explain it in a simpler way, when there is a continuous rise of prices, for example, the prices are rising up day by day and it is going on for a long period of time. That is one situation, that there can be a financial emergency, there is a danger to the financial stability of the country. Another situation could be when the prices continuously fall over a long period of time, then also there can be a danger of financial instability in the country. Some of you may be wondering, what is the problem if the prices fall continuously? The people will be able to buy goods and services at a very, very low cost. That is good for the people. Yes, if the prices come down, the people are happy because they can buy goods and services. At the same time, if that continues, it will pose a serious threat to the financial emergency, because if the prices continuously fall, the producers, the industrialists are not interested in continuing their production because they don't get profit. So they will certainly shut down their industries, and if the industries are shut down, the employees are thrown out of the jobs. So this kind of danger is there. Therefore, the continuous rise of prices, continuous fall of prices can pose serious threat to financial emergency, financial stability of the country, and President can take a serious steps to remedy this problem and this situation. So that it is. Okay, now that was the financial emergency, and the last part is the judicial power of the president. We should know that president is the highest executive authority, and president is in a one way above the law. Therefore, president is not responsible to any court of law. He is not answerable to any court of law. Yes, children, once again, the judicial powers of president. The president is almost above the law, and he is not answerable to any court of law. The president, against the president, no criminal case can be initiated. So long he holds the office of president, no case can be initiated, whether civil case or criminal case against the president. The president has the power to change the death sentence of a convict into life imprisonment. The president has the power to reduce the punishment. He can change the life imprisonment into certain number of years. So that way, the president also has certain judicial powers. So these are the powers of president that you should remember, and you should know at least few points of each of these powers. And last is the power of the Vice President of India. Very briefly, the powers of the Vice President of India, because we have discussed in detail the powers of President. We will discuss very briefly the powers of the Vice President of India. Vice President of India, the two powers you should remember. The two powers of the Vice President of India. The first is, he is the ex officio chairman of the Rajya Sabha. as an ex-officio chairman of Rajya Sabha, he conducts the meeting of the Rajya Sabha. That is his power. And second is the Vice President acts as President in the absence of the President. That means when President has resigned, or President has died, or President is unable to attend his duties, discharge his duties because of his long illness. In such situations, the Vice President will act as President of India, and these are the powers of the Vice President of India. So now you have learned the powers of the President. You have also learned the powers of the Vice President of India. You can compare their powers, you can compare their positions, and you will be better able to understand the role of the President and the role of Vice President of our country.